Well, the prosecution's star witness, Cassie Ventura, was back on the stand for day 4 of the Sean Diddy Combs federal trial. This time, she was being cross-examined by the defense. And reports from inside the courtroom described Ventura and the defense attorney as cordial, even playful, during parts of the questioning, sometimes even laughing together during early questioning. But as the day went on, exchanges between Ventura and the attorney became awkward, and Ventura began giving one-word answers. Let's get into some of the details of what we heard today. The defense began their cross-examination with a simple question. You and Sean Combs were in love for 11 years, right? To which she responded, yeah. Some of the first pieces of evidence shown to the jury included loving text messages sent back and forth between Combs and Ventura. Messages from Ventura that read, quote, I miss you so much, and I'd fly wherever you needed me, whenever. And I've never felt so loved, safe, and empowered since we've come together. The defense is looking to drive home the point that the pair were in a loving, consensual relationship. As questioning dug into the freak-offs the couple shared, the defense revealed a text message to Ventura that Ventura sent to Combs that read, I'm always ready to freak off. Now, that's strong evidence for the defense because Ventura spent the last 2 days on the stand testifying how much she hated participating in the drug-fueled group sex sessions, describing them as abusive, disgusting, and dehumanizing. It's clear today's questioning was targeted at proving that Ventura was not coerced into sex, but rather was a willing participant. Several other celebrities were discussed today as well, people like Kim Porter, Michael B. Jordan, and for the second day in a row, she was asked about rapper Kid Cudi. Ventura was asked about jealousy in her relationship, and she admitted she was jealous of Porter, the woman that Combs shared children with. She also talked about hiding her relationships with other men from Combs because when he was suspicious of her, he was, quote, scary. For an eyewitness account of today's courtroom drama, let's bring in Lauren Collin. She's the host of Pop Crime TV on YouTube. Lauren's been inside the Manhattan courthouse watching this trial unfold. Lauren, welcome back. You know, this was a cross-examination today of the star witness who is 8.5 months pregnant. How did Ventura do today on the stand?
I thought she handled herself incredibly well. As you said, she's 8.5 months pregnant. She was poised, she was composed, and she's talking about some of the darkest times in her life that she is not proud of. We were shown graphic, very humiliating texts that she sent a decade ago. Additionally, they went really deep into her drug use. They really seemed to want to amplify the fact that Cassie had a drug problem, admittedly so, and she did drugs without Sean Combs present. They also made sure to say that a lot of the time, Sean Combs was going through withdrawal. And when you go through withdrawal, you can tend to be agitated or violent. And in my opinion, this was them almost making excuses for some of his behavior, almost like he didn't have the guilty mind to commit some of these crimes. And you mentioned the defense attorney, Anna Estevea, going back and forth with Cassie, almost laughing. And that was actually most of the morning. They seemed to have a good rapport. She was gentle with her. She didn't badger her. There was yes or no questions that needed to be answered, but she didn't jump on her. And in my opinion, that came across very well. And she was able to elicit testimony from Cassie just as almost a friend, not as having this gotcha moment.
It's very interesting because when you read about that, we're not in the courtroom, and it sounded like, did it come off that Cassie did not seem as credible, as serious about it, or was it more just making her comfortable to talk about these issues?
No, it was making her comfortable. I mean, at one point she said, oh, you know, Miss Ventura, you're obviously very charming and very beautiful. And Cassie said, thank you. And everybody kind of laughed. But there were a few moments, and, you know, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not sure if this is technically impeachment, but they did seem to get us all to question some of Cassie's testimony on direct. One instance was when she testified that she saw Sean Combs hit her friend over the head with a wooden hanger, and that kind of ended their friendship in 2018. Well, it turns out Cassie said on the stand today that she was in the bathroom when this happened, and she didn't exactly see it, but she heard it. And not only that, her friend sued Sean Combs and Cassie actually paid out her friend this settlement, almost taking some kind of culpability in this situation that we were not really aware of. She also said something, I guess, in a transcript, or she said it to the government a few months ago about her being in the car when a security guard and Sean Combs went to go see Suge Knight in LA when he was at Mel's Diner. And she testified that she stayed at home at Sean Combs' LA mansion crying. And the defense said, well, did you or did you not tell the government that you were in the car crying? And she said, I don't remember saying that, looked at the testimony and said, or the transcript, excuse me, and said, there must be some kind of mistake. There was a few instances of that, just kind of making us question some of the things she said.
Yeah, and that is obviously what they're trying to get at in cross-examination, trying to get that gotcha moment. At those times, did she come across as like evasive or like, oh, they got me? Or did she seem to be like, oh, that was just a mistake?
She definitely didn't seem to be evasive, but you could tell she was getting tired. I mean, it's crazy because all of the reporters and the press are exhausted. The lawyers have said, oh, we've stayed up this morning. They were having evidentiary discussions, and they said, we've been up since 3 a.m. And then we're sitting here looking at Cassie on the stand, who is so pregnant. I mean, under cross-examination, she's exhausted. So you feel kind of guilty being like, oh, I'm so exhausted as press or reporter when, you know, we're watching her. And again, she's doing a good job. Even if she is giving short answers, I commend her. Me personally, I wouldn't be able to do that. I would have snapped back at this point. And
she's expected to finish up her examination, her testimony tomorrow, correct?
Yes. I mean, at this point, I don't think there's much of a choice here. She's ready to pop at any second. I hate that term. I don't know why I just said it, but truthfully, she is.
Yeah. All right. Lauren Cullen, thank you so much for joining us. It's really helpful to hear how it's going on in the courtroom itself.